I'm here today to introduce the Schwarze M4 Cascade. It's our non-CDL mechanical machine that's going to be the little brother to the M6. And we're only going to offer the M4 with the air suspension. The air suspension gives you a much better ride, plus it also gives you a better, more stable dumping condition when you're offloading the material. On the street side of the M4, we have a 2.2 liter Deutz engine. It develops 74 horsepower, very efficient for its weight class. Also have the fuel fill for the machine. It shares a fuel tank that's direct to the tank, so you can do a fast fill without having to any restriction in the filling. Also incorporated on the side is a drain for the engine, which is plugged and has a valve to open up to drain the oil, and one for the hydraulic tank also. On the M4 Cascade, we give a plentiful access inspection door on the side of the hopper. We're also using holdbacks, so should you open that door and you've got wind, that door is not coming back on you. So you've got plenty of access to put large pieces into the hopper, inspect your hopper without having to raise the door, raise the hopper. Great visibility to the hopper for inspections. Also during the dump cycle, we go through a smooth up with a single stroke cylinder. It's not a telescoping multi-stage cylinder, so it's going to be the same speed all the way up and a continuous speed all the way down. On the M4 Cascade, as we come down, it's actually a power down. We're powering that cylinder, filling the cylinder up with oil as it comes down, so it's a much more controlled descent, and we can adjust those with our speed controls in the maintenance screens of the machine. Also, our conveyor comes out automatically. It's one touch, to where when you raise either the scissor or you're tilting the dump, that conveyor comes out automatically, and the dump won't go up until that conveyor comes out. Let's take a minute to look at our conveyor. It's a full width conveyor, so it's going to be 58 inches full width of the main broom, carrying the debris in. It's squeegee now, but it also has the features of the M6, which you'll be able to use either a squeegee and in the future a belt conveyor. Easy swap outs, just like the M6, it goes into the cradle. So if you're using a squeegee today, down the road you can change it to a belt or vice versa. By comparison with the conveyor of the M4, there's many similarities to the Badger within width and general use of the squeegee. They do not offer a belt conveyor, and they do not offer an easy change out. It's also not a stainless steel component. We use throughout most of the machine, we're using a stainless steel, so we can go with a lighter, higher structural strength material, and plus get the corrosion resistance of the stainless steel and the aluminum. Moving further back on the machine, on the M4 Cascade, we're using the same pneumatic cylinders that we use on this big brother M6. Those are a locking pneumatic cylinder that both lift and lower the broom, but they're also the suspension for the broom. So you can cab control the suspension to where you're setting the coning of the broom or setting the anti-coning of the broom from the cab of the truck. And you can change that down pressure for the conditions that you're sweeping, so you light or heavier conditions. As that comes down to the lower part, you'll see a newer addition, and it's maybe even an older addition. We used it on the what was the M5000 years ago with great success, was the broom skirt drag shoe. This keeps the material between the conveyor and the main broom, and whatever obstruction it hits, it flexes. That brush is changed out when you change out your main broom, and does quite well. We've actually had it in the field on the M6s, and it's proven out very well. But it is also offered as an option with a tungsten carbide shoe on the side. The main broom is the same main broom, so if you've got a stock of M6 brooms, it is the 36-inch diameter by 58-inch long broom. It can be used with a full core broom, or it can be used with a strip broom, or any combination of other brooms that you use for the M6 today. Around the back of the M4 Cascade, it incorporates a full-size bumper. Works well for adding in strobes. At either side, we have a full array of LED lights for your turn signals, brake, reverse. Also incorporate broom lights as standard. This can take an arrow board, strobes, any of the options that we offer today, and safety lighting. Also comes with the slow-moving placard on the back, and of course with the Schwarze always a reverse camera. Also gives you the same access to your main broom as the M6 does. Our dust control, the primary feature, is the 220-gallon polyethylene tank. No rust. We go from that to our diaphragm pump, same pumps that we use across the board on our machines. I've had great results with those. Also has a three-way valve from filling the tank to also flushing the conveyor. All your solenoid valves are easily accessed right here on the side of the machine. We're also using the 2-micron post filter to keep all the nasties out of the valves and out of the nozzles, so you're not having to clean those nozzles constantly. And on the side, we house our pump, our level sensor is a pressure sensor now that we're starting to incorporate on our sweepers that is much more of a solid state than the float, to where it gives you your water level inside the cab, to where you can tell where your water is. Also has a shut off on the side, so if you need to clean your strainer, you can turn the valve, now drain your strainer and clean that strainer out without having to drain the whole water tank. Your water pump is incorporated on the side. Also has a vacuum gauge on there to make sure that diaphragm is not getting taxed with a vacuum or with a dirty strainer. Also, your fire hose is located right in the back, goes right into a basket, and can be hooked up or disconnected using the quick disconnect right on the fill. So let's take a look at the gutter broom on the M4 Cascade. It's a broom that everybody knows and loves. It's basically came from our A4 Storm. The A4 Storm both has the tilt adjustment, so that's automatic from the cab. You can tilt the broom. They're 42-inch diameters both sides. Uses the 5-segment gutter brooms with a 26-inch wire. Also has Geo. Geo, as explained, is going to help you abrade the material by tucking those brooms in, or you can stop it at any position in between, to where you can overextend and go into cul-de-sacs or sweeping in a normal overlapping position, to where you're feeding that main broom and picking up your debris. Operators love the Geo features because you can control that broom going around obstacles that may be in the road. You can also change that sweeping path to where you're really abrading the material, bringing the material in, and grabbing material when you need to, and reaching out to it. As you can see, there's a huge difference in features and benefits of the machines in what we offer at the same price point than the competition. Let's take a minute and talk about the hydraulics. Much like the M6, we put the hydraulics, pneumatics, and electrical all in one locker. The easy access new metal box that encloses all the controller and relays, fuses, the easy quarter turn lockdowns on that to remove it. You've got the hydraulics is now in a single bank instead of 3 different banks. You've got one manifold of hydraulics, same functions, same proprietary or proportional valves that regulate the flow, and you can adjust it from inside the cab. So you can regulate all your speeds of your motors without having to change the RPM of your engine. it's done through the valve. So no matter what RPM of that engine is turning, you can change your RPM of your different broom functions. Then your pneumatics are right behind that, and your main circuit breakers are in beside that. In front of the locker, we have the truck batteries, the DAF tank, all curbside. Also the continuous duty air compressor. So this is an air compressor there that's for air for the air suspension, also there for air for our suspension on our pneumatic cylinders. All easy access for easy maintenance and adjustment. The controls on the M4 are much like the M6. You've got the engine starter switch, throttle. Also is on a ram mount that can be adjusted to where if you wanted to move that out of the way, tilt it for the left or the right if you had dual steering. Ergonomically, if you want to tilt the console a little bit more toward you, you can put it in many positions and then lock down your ram mount. Also, you have the full maintenance screen as the M6 does, so you can go to maintenance and do troubleshooting through your machine. You can also see your hours of your main broom, your side brooms, your auxiliary engine. The main brooms and gutter brooms are also resettable to where once you change out your broom bristles, you can reset your hour meter. Also gives us the engine hours up front on the panel. Also gives us coolant temperature, oil temperature, the hydraulic oil, water level, voltage of the machine. It even is giving you the engine load, so it can tell you what your engine load. So you can actually reduce those RPMs down if your engine's not in a load situation, so you can save fuel. One of the main features of these controls is the 6 cents. The 6 cents, if you're familiar with the M6, is one of the most used and popular conditions and controls of the machine, to where you can, no matter where your settings are on your switches, once you get those, you set the 1 through 6 just like you're setting on a radio, where you hold down the button. When your lights flash, it's saved those settings, so you can go right back to them. So you push your 3, your sweep, and you're into that 3 mode. Or you can go to 2, hit sweep, and it's into that mode. Very simple. So even though there's a lot of switches, you're really only using 1 or 2 switches to do the operations that you need to do. You can see on the Cascade, there's going to be features on it that we're eventually going to put on the M6. We've incorporated things in there that we want to go down that same path with the M6. I think you'll see that the M4 Cascade is the machine of choice.